I was young. I was in high school. I think 13 was the first time I actually started to experiment with drugs. I started, of course, with simply pot and then escalated to other more serious drugs. And that went on through high school. And then I actually graduated high school when I was 16 and joined the military. When I was 17, I was trying to change my life. I got away from it and didn't really realize that all I did was transition from, pot and being a civilian to alcohol and being in the military. Back then I didn't have any idea of addiction or what it meant. I stayed in the military for 8 years. I deployed twice. I was in Iraq. And then when I got back, I had a surgery in the Army, and that kind of introduced me to opiates, and that was my ultimate downfall. And, I didn't know about it, and I'll always remember like the first time that they actually gave me, it was Percocet for pain, and the doctor says, well, now we're about to start this. And, that was, it was like 24. I was at Fort Lewis, Washington, and I didn't understand the ramifications of that until much later in life. So, he started me off on like a small dose, and like I continually had pain. So then the doses just kept getting, more and more until I ended up going to the Warrior Transition Battalion in the Army, because I was dealing with medical issues. So I ended up getting medically chaptered out after just shy of 8 years. And then when I got out, the VA's fix-all was kind of just to pump me full of pills and not deal with the problem, which eventually led to me, switching from, pain medication to heroin. It ended up escalating to where I actually lost custody of my first son when he was 2. And I didn't really do anything to help the situation. He was in foster care for like 2 years before I actually did anything to like try and get him back. And I went through all the hoops. I did everything that they requested. I got my son back and kept him for it was about 5-6 years. I had another son along the way, but then, addiction took over again. And I ended up, I was just broke down, defeated. I actually walked up to the police in front of the Ormond Walmart and told them I had heroin, arrest me, please. And they did. And I did like a 3-month program. And while I was in jail, they told me that there was movement on my children, that all 3 of my children had been removed from my wife. And, they were with their aunt. And, it was the same situation. I didn't do anything. At the time I wasn't in the right state of mind. I didn't even care where my kids were when I was actively using. And then when I was in jail and opted for the program, that was kind of like the earth-shattering experience to wake me up. It was a CTDP program. You do 60 days of like intensive outpatient in jail, and then like on the recommendation from them, you can either do outpatient or inpatient. I told them from the beginning that outpatient would not suffice, because if I got out again, then I would just go right back to what I was doing. So then I did 4 months of that, finished that, got out, went to sober living, a different sober living because Foundations wasn't available, and then was there for about 5 months. And like at this time, the whole time I was actively working my case to get my children back. And, then the opportunity to come to Foundations happened, and I started working here. I think it's about compassion and fellowship, and like they actually care. People will reach out to try and help you, and offer guidance and suggestion that if you actually listen to it and use it, you'd be amazed at what would happen. And Foundations would not have been here, for me to take this next step, and then I would have been lost, I think, indefinitely to the dark. I think that there's no greater honor that we have as humans than to help out another human in need. And if, I can help save one person, then it makes everything worth it. It's been going on 20 months now since I've done anything. And, I have custody of 2 of my kids again. So they know that daddy was sick. They don't know, like my younger ones don't know the specifics of it. My older one is older, so he remembers more. So I'm sure that he's more aware of what was going on. But my younger ones know that daddy was sick, that daddy, needed to get help, that he got help, and that he takes medicine, which is the form of, meetings and service work and working the program of NA. That light at the end of the tunnel. I already have like that partially because I have 2 of my kids. Whenever I'm able to like somewhat repair the relationship with my oldest son, and he'll talk to me, and I have my family reunited together, all of us in one spot, that will be that light at the end of the tunnel moment.